Make the motion.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, mayor's report.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. I appreciate that. Sorry for the delay. You have the tax reports in your packet, and as always, I go through and I do some projections. So these are the projections that I have done from this report. You may have done the same thing. On sales tax, the nine-month average is $793,380 per month. So we project times 12, and we get a figure. And then the use tax comes to a projection of the 12 months at $882,796. The sales tax $9,520,563. When you include the tobacco tax, $91,272. That brings us to a total projection for 12 months using the 9-month figures of $10,494,631. And that's very healthy, and it's on track with our projections clear throughout the year. So you saw the sales tax levels, the level at 758,530.01 for the reporting this month, and the use tax reporting in at $70,027.53. I'm not sure if you got the tobacco tax report.
Yep.
Came in at $5,507.90 for the month.
So do you think the use tax will probably go up when we get started in our construction?
Absolutely do.
Okay.
I absolutely do. There's no reason why it shouldn't.
Have you
So-
heard anything about the industrial park? Are they gonna start back to work before long, or do you know anything about?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I know that there's projects that are on hold, but I also know that there are new entities that I've been involved in some of those meetings. So there is quite a bit of activity at the industrial park and trying to build out those properties that they call shovel ready. So
I was wondering about the customer out there, if they were thinking on getting everybody back in and starting back.
So the
complex.
customer out there, the news that we should be aware of, and it's not, I guess that Senate bill that's going on right now is supposed to change perhaps the way that the tax goes to the county, and mainly having to do with personal property, mainly having to do with the property tax. The ad valorem tax is not supposed to be messed with. Perhaps Council Thompson maybe has maybe some better news since you work in that environment. But I think we're probably going to have some decisions to make in the town in how we might maybe consider how perhaps we want to support that company going forward. They're an integral part of who we are. And if their incentive is in jeopardy, and it appears that it may, that's something that comes from the state. It changes the direction midstream, and so I think we have some. I like to call them opportunities in the future. we can look at it as challenge, but I like to call them opportunities. If y'all would bear with me, that's the tax report. I would like to talk about financial status. In particular, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut off any questions. Is there any questions about
That's fine.
the revenues?
Nope.
So I want to talk a little bit about our COVID relief money, the CARES Act money that has come in. So when I do the math, what we have right now is we have a balance of $508,024.86. That's what our system tells us. $508,024.86. That includes that money that we put in reserves. Now, the money that we put in reserves, we did that. Council approved some guidelines. One of those guidelines was to hold some money in reserves through the end of February, and then depending on what our needs would be, then give council a report at first meeting in April. So what I like to do is, although that COVID money is not necessarily the responsibility of the Budget Personnel Committee, because that's not a budget item that y'all deal with, but I like to use you as a sounding board to talk about those things. So on tonight's agenda, there's been inserted on tonight's agenda up to $99,000 perhaps to be taken out of the COVID funding. Perhaps we need to do that, perhaps we don't, I'm not sure. I would like to comment that, and I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but when a city councilor will bypass protocol and come to a committee and make a recommendation to the committee, bypassing a department head, also bypassing mayor, then it places the committee in an uncomfortable position. It also places department head in an uncomfortable position, and it places the mayor in an uncomfortable position. So when a city councilor will do that, then it kind of bypasses protocol. So when I took the seat, I agreed to manage, and so I'm trying to do the best job I can in managing. So when we bypass, then it bypasses some of those steps. So I'm very happy to visit with any council member about anything they'd like to insert on any agenda at any time. I would like to, I would like to have the opportunity to visit, because there are management things that are going on day by day that are not revealed. So I wanted to make that comment. In considering some of the needs that we might use for the COVID money, I've listed a few of them. They're not necessarily Larry's agenda. I've tried to understand maybe needs that might be in our community. We have a recreation center roof that's in need of repair or replacement. We've got a Graham Community Building that is in terrible need of renovation. We have floodplain management and drainage projects that we are trying to deal with, and those projects are very expensive. We have street repair and maintenance projects that we need to tend to, and we also need to finish well with our police and fire and our library project. So that bid opening is going to be on Thursday, I hope, this week. It's been delayed a few times. So when I think about how we use that $508,000 that we need to use, we need to spend that money. Originally, we were required to spend that money before or by December the 31st. Department of Commerce, the governor's office, they extended that, but they didn't tell us how far they extended that. So they didn't really give us definition. but I think it's important that that we spend that money wisely. I've tried to manage that money and hold the majority of it for COVID concerns, and which I think we have done. And I appreciate the cooperation of council and our department heads. Department heads are the heroes in that regard. So I appreciate all of that cooperation. If we were to agree to spend everything that has been put on the agenda tonight, then we would have a total of $408,000 left in that fund. So I would encourage budget personnel tonight, when you look at the items, item 10, 11, and 12, I would encourage you to consider tabling those items. Those items don't have a solid number. The department heads, in my opinion, weren't consulted appropriately, nor was I consulted appropriately on those items. So I'm not making criticism. Understand that, because to have council members that take initiative, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. We just need to go through the protocols that are in place. Do y'all have any questions about the COVID numbers?
So you were saying that we have an indefinite deadline that this COVID money has to be spent by?
That's correct. I would be disappointed if we did not spend that total at least by the end of the fiscal year. I would be disappointed if we did not find a way to spend that.
We'll have to
I think
remember.
it would be better to spend it sooner than
Yes,
later,
agreed.
than leave it just sitting there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remember too that we can't consider that as part of our next year's budget either, because we're probably not gonna get that little gift.
Well, that is exactly right. And so that's a calculation. If you remember when Jeff Coker made his mid-year review, he brought that out. Now we did receive that, and because of the budget rules that we operate under, we budget 90% of receipts.
Right.
Well, we can't deny that we received that, but when we go through that process, we need to eliminate that $722,000 from the mix and not consider it in the 90%.
And the 750 from the MUB.
Pardon me?
And the 750 from the MUB.
That's correct. Yeah, whatever
in
that.
any grants that we have.
Correct. You remove those from the totals. I did do some calculations regarding capital outlay, if you'd like to hear those.
Yes, actually, that was gonna be my next question.
Well, I have a question regarding COVID real quick. So just probably everyone's question is there restrictions on how to spend the CARES relief money?
Council
Yes,
Thompson, that's a
no?
very good question. That's a very good
Because I've
question.
even gone to the county and asked just out of curiosity.
So when those monies were awarded, we made application for those monies with a resolution saying how we would use those monies. The interpretation, though, is so broad that it's almost impossible to say that if we chose to build sidewalks with that money, would that not improve the health of a COVID patient? So those guidelines, the interpretation of those guidelines are so broad that there has not been restriction necessarily put on how we use those monies. There may be a reckoning about from the state saying, well, how did you use those funds? That's one of the reasons why we're keeping these records, because it's important for us to do that. And so Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group has advised that we basically can make our own determinations about how we use that money. But we do need to track how we use it, and we do need to be able to give an accounting of how we use it.
So in applying, how is it calculated the amount that we received for the city of Pryor? Like, what was our beginning balance? How was that?
Yeah, the calculation was based on population density, and it was
Okay.
a formula that the state used. So the state received federal monies that the state was responsible to distribute those monies to counties, to cities, and municipalities. And so there was a formula that was used.
Okay.
The formula that, as the formula played out for us, we received, let me go back to it. We received a total of $722,935.44.
Okay.
That's what we used. I proposed a calculation to set back 28% of that, which was $202,422. And that was 28% that I chose to set back in reserves in case,
Emergencies.
in case COVID went completely wild and we needed to do that. So that's the reason why we have the $508,000. So the difference between the 722 and the 508 is what we have spent to date.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Regarding capital outlay, pardon me. In running the numbers and projecting what receipts we will get back in from capital outlay through the end of the year, it appears that we will receive somewhere around $170,500 through the end of the year. And that is an average projection based on receipts for 8 months coming in. We have our fund equity right now is $289,000. And so projecting the total available in the capital outlay account as of June the 30th would be $459,500. So the way that I'm managing the capital outlay account, the 44 fund, is based on those projections. So it is true that we have approved to spend more than we are going to have in that account. Okay, that is true. So I'm tracking that. I'm tracking that. There are things that we are not, that we should not consider spending out of that account. One of the things that I'm trying to initiate and build a fire under is the animal shelter item, that $65,000, which, by the way, is an estimate. That's an estimate, but we have a great need at the animal shelter. The holdup on that is not with our engineering, it's with the contractor who we have identified who can do that job, and there's only one contractor who even showed any interest. So we're waiting on that contractor. Chief Nichols, have I shared that with you? No. Okay, all right. We talked, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. There are other items in the capital outlay fund that we will be spending, but we're not going to overspend it. We're not going to spend money that we don't have there. So, are there any other questions?
What did you say the fund equity was? I missed that.
The fund equity is $289,000. The projection through the end of the fiscal year is $170,500. And we add those sums together and we get $459,500. All right. Are there any other questions?
I do not have any more. Thank you, Mr.
That's
Mayor.
good. Thank you.
Please call me if you do.
Will do. Item number 4, discuss, possibly recommend council action regarding an expenditure of $30,000 in the form of a matching grant for a national fitness campaign fitness court, which would be constructed on the recreation center grounds on the west side and toward the south perimeter. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We may play the video first. We were approached by the National Fitness Campaign about Pryor being a good candidate for this fitness court. And so I think before I talk about it, it might be easier for you all just to take a look. It's only a 2-minute video, so it'll give you an idea.
Go. Maybe. I'll walk up there and do it the easy way.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. With 200 fitness courts open, our campaign is growing. From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere. And we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Benacci, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. This year, 2,000 certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. We'll also be hosting training camps on college campuses across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness court. Building beyond 200 cities and colleges, we're now partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for pedestrian infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere. We're now committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us and let's make world-class fitness free.
Okay, so from what the video said, you can kind of get an idea about how it works. It's basically 7 training zones, and it's all body weight. So you can use, for 7 minutes, you do 7 movements. That can be doubled, tripled, depending on your, athletic ability. But what it is you can, there's a couple different ways you can do it, but you can get an app, the Fitness Court app. So if I wanted to go use it, I would show up, I would get on my app, I could pull up any exercise or any routine that they had on there. I could also check in and compete nationwide with other people doing the same exercise routine. The really neat thing about it is they said they had 2,000 fitness court ambassadors. So those are people who are trained to host classes or challenges or training camps there. That's something that we would like to see a couple of our rec centers get that ambassador training so that they were able to hold classes out there. The whole idea behind this is free fitness. So we feel like it's a great way for us to give back to the community because everything that would be done there it would be free to anybody in the community. They love to put these near colleges. This whole training camp that they're talking about on college campuses, I don't see why we couldn't partner with RSU and get some kind of exciting training camp going with them. We're right there by Thunderbird. I don't know why Thunderbird couldn't use it, the after-school program, on top of just us offering classes maybe 2 or 3 times a week for community members, and then people having access to it, of course, 24/7 to use it and work out on their own. We would have a part in choosing the color and the whole design scheme of it. It will have a 32-inch wide mural wall on the back of it that we can design to feature our sponsors, or we can have a cool color design. I mean, it's kind of up to us how we want to do that. There's also a place on the inside of the wall with the workout equipment called a partner recognition wall, so any of our sponsors would be featured on that as well. The way this works is, well, before I get to the money, I will mention that we would be one of 3 cities in Oklahoma to have this if we were able to do it. So Okmulgee was actually first, which kind of surprised me, and that was in April of 2018. They placed theirs downtown, like where an abandoned building had been, and they tore the building down, and so theirs is right downtown, but they also have a really nice pedestrian, like walking bike lane, so it has easy access to it. And their project was led by their city manager, and one of their big sponsors was OSUIT and Walmart there in town. So they also have that OSUIT facility there. So they were first, and then a year later, Oklahoma City jumped in, and they actually put in 5. And one is at the Boathouse District, and then the other 4 at parks around Oklahoma City. And they have an annual what they call a fitness court festival every year, where they kick off the outdoor season and have different competitions and boot camps, and they do giveaways and things like that. So to be one of 3, I think it would be really cool. I think we could get a lot of publicity out of it. I could see calling all the Tulsa stations over when we have our big grand opening, and I think it would allow us to partner with a lot of people in the community countywide. I mean, well, anybody from this area, honestly, because there's not one near us. So the way the money works is the National Fitness Campaign, who reached out to me, they will provide at least a $30,000 grant, but they require a $30,000 city match. And so that's why we're here tonight. The other $60,000 would have to be raised through fundraising efforts. It's a total of about $110,000, give or take just a little bit. I feel like we do have the sponsorship, that we would have the support once we have a plan together and get out there and start talking to people about it. And then I also have some ideas for some little grants that I feel like we could write to finish it out if we don't get all of it. The fitness campaign said they do have extra grant money available if we fall short in any way, that there's a possibility they would be able to help us out. They're excited because we're excited, and so they've already reached out to me today. They said the site feasibility study is done. They can't wait to talk to us about it tomorrow after we see how tonight goes. And so they're excited for us. I did talk to the mayor quickly right before, and we decided this would come out of the Rec Center Capital Outlay account, which is 848455410, which we do have plenty of money there to cover the $30,000.
And that is all it will cost?
That will be the 110, and he said it's $100,000, and he said allow at least $10,000 for like the concrete slab and some of the different things that could vary depending on the cost of concrete at the time and that sort of thing. But he said $10,000 should finish it completely. And they help with the design or the building process. They have people they send out. He did say that we're kind of at the end of, that's why we're trying to speed this up, we're at the end of the grant process, which he said works to our benefit because they have extra grant money available, and they're also excited, and so they will fast track things for us if we're ready to get us in this grant year.
Awesome. I think this is great. I think this is a great opportunity for the city and for the health benefit of the citizens. And you've answered every one of the questions I had.
Oh, awesome. Well, we talked a little bit before about why not one of the parks in town. And so we did actually mention that, and we talked about downtown. And I feel like for this to be as effective as it could be, I think having it there where we can kind of take ownership of it and kind of organize the events and publicize and partner and bring people in. I think we can do more with it if it's right there. Mm-hmm. We also have a facility, if we place it up at the front on that west side or even on the east side. It's only a 38 by 38. It's not going to take up a ton of space. But if we place it at the front, kind of on the south end of the area, you've got parking right there. You have some lighting from the parking lot. We have security system out front. So hopefully it will deter some of the vandalism that goes on at the other parks, and we can have our employees can kind of help take care of it. Not that there would be any maintenance, but
Yeah.
But
was
what
just,
little there would be.
yeah, I mean, we could oversee it and
Yeah.
make sure everything
Absolutely.
is going well, so. And it ties in great with our planning design stuff out back too. So, I mean, it just adds another feature.
Do you ever even have any vandalism at the rec center?
Not that I know of, not
Okay.
since I've been
I mean-
there, but, yeah, not that I know of.
Yeah,
Any other
that's
questions?
exciting.
It is exciting.
It is good.
Mhm.
Any discussion?
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Hearing no more discussion, is all of those in favor?
Well, I'll need to amend my motion to add the account number.
Oh, you are
I will do
correct.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor of the amended motion to include the account number?
Aye.
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 Perfect. Item number 5, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $34,237.45 for the purchase of 5-year maintenance and backup phone for the new Motorola CallWorks 911 system that was received through the Oklahoma 911 Management Authority grant. Recommend this expenditure from COVID reimbursement account 02-201-5401.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. James?
The grant that we just received from the Oklahoma 911 Management Authority, that was a virtual consolidation along with Bates County 911 and GRDA. This is the warranty that goes along with that.
Okay.
We were not able to include that in the grant, so this is that warranty that we're gonna need to go along with that system.
Okay.
So this is in addition to what we voted on?
Yeah,
Yes.
the 18 was the initial, just the 20% match, and this is in addition to that to have the maintenance and warranty over it.
Will this be shared by the county or GRDA?
No, this is just our system.
Just your system, okay. And it will move over to the new building?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions,
I'm
discussion?
good.
All right. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item number 6, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding purchase of new surveillance cameras for Pryor Creek Police Department.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Just want to kind of give you a heads up. I know our initial plan, that the lease purchase that we talked about that was approved a couple of months ago, the surveillance system was on there for the new building. Ours is not going to make it that far. It's falling apart on a weekly basis, which is not good for our safety, and we have to have it in the jail and everything else. So we have 3 bids. We're looking at those vendors. I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up that next month we'll be bringing it back to you.
Okay.
With everything. We've got the numbers now, but we're not ready to make that decision. I know that after talking to the mayor and Frank, we're also looking at putting cameras down around the park area. So I think we're gonna include that with ours, and then BK's looking at some for his place also, because I think everybody's just kind of timed out. So we'll be bringing those back next month.
Are you gonna bring it back to budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So do we make a motion
Appropriate
to table?
yep, that's what I was gonna suggest, is to table this until the next budget meeting.
Okay.
Somebody wanna make that motion?
I will make that motion to
I'll
table.
second.
All those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
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 Item number 7, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $3,999.68 to GT Distributors for the purchase of 32 Streamlight ProTac rifle lights at $124.99 each. Other quotes received, $4,159.68. Midway USA, $5,375.68. Galls recommend this expenditure from police equipment capital outlay 44,445,5424.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
And I apologize, I should have spoke with you earlier. I need to amend that. The GT Distributors, we actually got a government rate, and the total's gonna be $3,166.72.
Can you repeat that?
$3,166.72. So I apologize for that. I'll let you look at that.
Thank you.
Would you say that again? I'm sorry. 3,000.
166.72.
Yeah, I think it's 3,166.72. Is that right?
What do you,
Yes.
how much, I wonder what you got left in that account? I haven't even,
There is 72,000 plus 8,000, so 80,000, depending on what the mayor takes.
that's pretty close. Okay. And those are 1,000 lumen lights, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last, what, hour and a half or so with a,
Don't get me lying to you. I don't have a clue. I'm sorry.
okay,
I know that this is similar to the light that I've had for 15 years. It doesn't work anymore, so if they last that long, I'll be happy.
yeah, it'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
The only thing I don't like about them is they use those, 1, 2, 3 batteries instead of a recharge, but
And I
that's
don't
the way
want
it
to,
is.
in our profession, I don't want to recharge because the minute I forget to recharge is when I'll get called out in the middle of the night and won't be
Okay.
recharged. So I like the batteries, so I can keep some extras in my cars.
Okay, that'll work.
Any other questions?
No.
We need to amend the motion to include the difference in the
Yeah.
total.
Amend the motion to read $3,166.72 to GT Distributors.
I'll amend my second.
All right. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 So all this time, you guys haven't had any kind of lights or,
There's a few of us that do, but mine, so if we're gonna go on to the next one. My EOTech's been out for a while. The lights, some of us do, but most of them don't, and like I said, mine don't work.
okay. That's kind of a rough duty at night if you have to use it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Item number 8, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $11,947.52 to GT Distributors for the purchase of 32 Vortex Strike Eagles 1-6x24 AR-BD-C3 rifle optics at $243.68 each, and 32 Pro 30mm cantilever mounts
I don't know.
Sounds good.
at
Cantilever
120
mounts, yeah.
Okay, at $129.68 each for the police department. This price includes a lifetime warranty. Other quotes received, $11,999.36. Vortex Optics, $14,336. And Amazon. Recommend this expenditure from COVID reimbursement account 02-201-5401. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Did you get any changes on amounts on that one?
On the amounts?
Mhm.
No, sir, these were
Okay.
the government rates to start off with. This is the recommendation from my guys, from our firearms instructor, from TPD range instructor, from other officers that I've talked to. There are higher scopes out there, but as a budget-friendly option for us right now, this is what's been recommended. And
They look pretty good.
yeah, Choya came down and looked at them last night, so
Yeah.
I know there's been some discussion, but on which mounts, on which lights, but this is our recommendation.
Yeah, you guys are gonna use them, so.
All right, any other questions?
Nope.
Discussion? Hearing none.
And like I said, you guys are running around at night with no flashlights and no optics. You're just running straight iron sights.
Well, let's not put that out there.
Well, I'm just saying, that's pretty bad. Yeah, we need to upgrade.
All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it.
Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, item number 9, discussion regarding future planning for a fire station in the district off Highway 69A.
So the other day I met with the mayor and I actually went in there to show him pictures of the new fire truck and kind of start that process and get the ball rolling on that. And during our discussion too, we started talking about the industrial park and making some partnerships with them. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about trying to build relationships, some things that they're looking at doing out there with them growing and other things we have growing around our community, our fire district's growing. So I think there's some want to help us give the protection we need to. We were talking that day too about maybe trying to get somebody from budget or something like that to also start incorporating in some of those meetings to where we can plan down the road. So I don't know if y'all want to discuss that.
So what we're doing is initiating initiating and taking the initiative about that, because we look forward about what our fire needs are going forward. And it's obvious to us that we, even with the coverage that we have planned with our new emergency center, that we're going to have more needs. So as we grow, I would rather be out in front of that rather than reacting. Mid-America Industrial Park has made several approaches to me in that regard, and I have had some conversations with them. I tasked BK to give John Schaffetzel a call, and he did, and they were encouraged that we had taken that initiative. They're wanting to set up a meeting sometime in the near future with BK, with myself, and perhaps with one of you to join us there in the meeting. So there's not been anything decided. What we're trying to do is discover what our needs might be and address those needs appropriately, and utilizing Mid-America Industrial Park as a partner in that endeavor. So.
Absolutely.
That's what we just want to touch base with you all to pretty much just say, we're starting to make contact with some people, look at partnerships, stuff like that. As that ball rolls, it's above my pay grade by all means to say, yeah, I'll give you all this, you know? So I just want to make sure we're involved, the mayor's involved, and I figured y'all would be a great starting point to maybe start getting in those meetings, and if y'all want to try to sit down and figure out maybe picking somebody to.
Probably be above our pay grade too, is probably the people of Pryor have to vote that dude in.
That's true. That's true. But in the process to involve not only a department head and a mayor, but to involve council member as well. And I think it's the right thing to do. It represents the citizens well, and we haven't made any decisions. We haven't.
It's just conversation.
We've started a conversation based on knowledge that I have, based on some knowledge that you have as well. So as we're sitting there beginning to talk about budget things for the next fiscal year, then we project forward. We should always project forward, try to understand what our needs are.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I agree that
I
our
do too.
budget chair should definitely be a part of that.
I'd be more than happy.
Well, we'll just keep you in the loop and kind of go from there. And like I said, they're looking at, just starting those discussions and stuff like that. I'll throw your name down as a point of contact for us.
Sounds great.
Y'all have anything else on reference to that?
Not that one.
No, not that
Nope.
one.
Yeah,
But
not that.
Do it down here, stay up here.
you're fixing to have some questions.
Okay.
No action on number 9. On item number 10, discuss and possibly authorize fire chief to seek bids for extended parking on north end of existing fire building, 65 by 65, 6 inches deep, to accommodate firefighters and assist in medevac transport. Estimated cost of $36,000 from COVID reimbursement account 022015401.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Well, I was approached by a council member about this years ago when we first started flying people out of that. That was a place we talked about expanding our footprint just for parking and also pulling the bus up. The estimated cost, that is something that I think Councilman Trammell and Buddy sat down and looked at. I know that's coming out of the COVID deal. Y'all had your discussion earlier.
Correct. Has this been something you've been researching or looking into?
No, ma'am, to be honest with
or-
you, that one and the next one was brought to my attention. It's stuff that we've talked about in the past, years ago, and stuff like that. And it was brought up, hey, if we can get this done, do you want it done? And yeah. Yeah, you asked me if I want something, I'll take it.
But she did not ask for this stuff in particular to be.
No, Councilman Trammell actually had this
Okay.
and the next one put on for us. He did come to us
Yes.
before it was on the agenda and said, hey, some stuff we've talked about years ago, you know, some wants and needs, you know, like the kitchen update and that. Now, you know, I can make it COVID related somehow. If I need
As
to.
you can, right?
But
That's
on
good
those
for you.
costs, you know, I'm not a concrete guy, but if Buddy was there, I'm sure they looked at doing probably 6-inch.
Do you have plenty of parking area for your firefighters?
Personally, it doesn't look like you do.
No, what we try to do now is we pack them all up on the back apron right now, and we try to leave that front open for either people coming in to walk-ins, or what we call walk-ins, or people coming in to see the station, or volunteers showing up for calls. It would be nice to expand that, but hopefully we're not too far from getting our new station, and that'll help set some things off. And years ago, when we talked about doing that, the north part of the station, we talked about making it parking, and we'd also make an approach for the ambulance. Right now, the ambulance, we either park them right on that service road going in the back of Mayor Wallace or to the nutrition center, or we'll pull them on our back apron. Sometimes we pull them on the back apron if there's a lot going on. They'll pull on the back apron, then we'll have the engine or whoever was on the other call and some PD units, and we'll bog down our back apron pretty quick. So back in the day, which that was something we talked with Mayor Trammell years ago for a capital outlay project,
When he was mayor.
and we never got that done. But it is a need or a need or a want. I mean, we make it work now. If the nutrition center's not up and running, we're landing a bird, it's gravy, just because we got their parking lot. We'll kill everything in the middle. Right now, we're running into, they're doing a lot of those meals because the people can't come in and eat. So, but that won't ever go away right now. So even if we had the parking, that would still be a hurdle we have to just overcome.
My concern right now is that we do have a substantial amount in this COVID relief. We don't know how we're gonna spend it. We don't know. We've got several other projects that may need to be dealt with prior to this, if this really isn't an emergency thing for you guys right now.
This was brought to us, like I said, for this and the next one. And so,
I think it would be appropriate to table this until the next budget meeting and kind of gather some more information, and maybe we'll have some more information as to what we want to do and with the entire account as a whole. I'm all for taking care of our fire department if this is something that we absolutely need. You know that.
Yes.
I just think we need more information before we start making these decisions.
and I can go after or even look and get more, I don't know if you want to call them quotes or.
Did he have any? Oh, no, he just went with Buddy.
I think he went there and they pretty much looked at like a 6-inch, 65 by 65 and pretty much just threw a number out there. Now, that being said, I don't know if Buddy's willing to do some of the work. I mean, like on that next item, the kitchen stuff, he said something in reference to that. I said, my boys can do a lot of that work if you buy us the material. We're willing to do what we can to, if we can better ourselves or upgrade our stuff, I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
So, but I don't have any prices. I haven't renovated a kitchen or poured cement lately, so I couldn't tell you what a yard of cement even runs right now.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
So, but I can work on that item and the next one if you want me to try to get numbers together and see what we can do. And I haven't stepped it off that 65 to 65. I don't know how that fits into that north exactly.
Right.
But when we do that and we cut curbs, that'd be another thing I want to. I don't know if they planned on just cutting one entrance, or I would like to have a circle
out.
drive or even just cut it all. But that would also be a Buddy question to see what he'd let me get away with.
Sure.
And we've also got our fire supply that comes on that side. I don't know if they know exactly where that cuts through that yard, but when MUB cut it, they cut it at an angle. And I really don't want to cover that up with cement if I don't have to.
If you had a leak, it'd be bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, we'd be tearing stuff up that we'd have to replace. So I can do some more looking into into that if y'all,
You more comfortable tabling it?
I'm fine with tabling if that's what we need to do, and I can do some further.
I'll amend my motion to table
I'll amend my second.
till a later date.
All right, any other discussion right now? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
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 Item number 11, discuss and possibly authorize fire chief to seek bids for kitchen upgrade and current fire building, estimated cost of $7,500 from COVID reimbursement account 02-201-5401.
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
My only question is, do you have any idea where the $7,500?
No, like I said earlier, I don't know if he's looking, which, that is a 1986 station, so the
Correct.
cabinets and stuff like that. A while back, we did redo the floor and stuff, the guys put new tile and stuff in there. We could probably do some of the stuff, I don't know if that's including, I would assume at that price, it's maybe some appliance and maybe cabinets.
Okay.
But, I would do some legwork on that if y'all want me to even kind of see what we can do and even see what I could maybe get the guys to,
What some options are?
yeah, I can do that.
I will
Okay.
say it is smaller than I thought.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I thought it was bigger
You
than
can
what.
redo a kitchen for $7,500. That's not a bad.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's not very big at all, and we talked years ago about taking out some of that wall where we could, just to try to open it up the most we can.
Small.
It's, back when we built it, it was good size to
Pretty
us.
good,
We're going from station 2, but then you look at that compared to what we're getting ready to move into, and like building a barn at home, you think you build it big enough, and next year you're wishing you had another 30 foot over here,
Yep.
so.
Exactly.
But if y'all like me to, I can crunch some numbers on that and see what would, even just figure in material or stuff like that.
I mean, I would appreciate it. I mean, if these are things that need to be done, I think they need to be at least considered for these COVID accounts. I mean, whatever
Yeah.
the ultimate decision is, I'd like to consider everything that we could potentially
And
take care of. So, any other discussion?
I'm good.
All right. All those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
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 Item number 12.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discuss possibly authorize street department to seek quotes for replacement of boom arm mower, estimated cost $10,000 from COVID reimbursement account 02-201-5401.
So in my budget meeting with Buddy yesterday,
Want to make a motion for?
I got it. I'll make a motion.
Sorry.
pardon me,
Second.
just slapped me.
You're good.
In my budget meeting with Buddy, he made a comment that his boom arm mower is something that needs to be replaced, and it is, and so we plan on budgeting that so far within his budget for next fiscal year. If it's something that he needs to replace, then I'm sure he's willing to get 3 bids. He's willing to get 3 bids on it. This caught him by surprise. He didn't know this was going to be on the agenda tonight. Whether or not it's $10,000, that's probably that might be a good cost estimate, or it might not be. But we have 3 vendors in town who can quote that item, and I would encourage this committee to table that until the next budget.
Till we get some
Meeting.
quotes.
Yes.
I'll amend my motion to table till we get some quotes.
I'll amend my second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item number 13, petitions from the audience. We don't have any yet. 14, unforeseeable business. Number 15.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 We are
I thought that was
adjourned.
John Ketcher down